This is the Mazz and Bads Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.
All right, you already know what it is. We're back with another one, Mazz and Bad Show, episode numero Tom Brady, the GOAT, 12.
Ew.
You know what it is. Stop hating. Why are you hating? Well, you just don't like greatness? I don't know what to tell you, Chucky. Nobody's ever dominated the league like this, all right? Not Patty Mahomes, all right? Not John Elway. Not Troy Aikman. None of them. Tom Brady, the GOAT. Whether you love or hate him, it's the greatest of all time. And you know what? This might be the greatest of all time episode. Here.
Really? Right now?
Could be.
Week 3 of the NFL season is going to be the greatest Mazz and Bads episode thus far.
Chucky, when I'm on an episode, there's always the possibility of it being the greatest episode for whatever project ever, all right?
All right, word. I'm with it.
All right, listen. The Saints are here.
Okay.
Have we been sleeping on them?
I mean, so do you remember my pregame or preseason preview? I had quite a few things to say about the Saints. I thought it was time for them to shut it down, pull the plug, just go full rebuild. Trade your assets, do what you got to do to jumpstart the rebuild. I owe them an apology for sure. Am I 100% sold that they're a Super Bowl contender and they should be one of the top favorites in the NFC? No. I think we're too early on in the season for any major statement like that to be made. I do definitely would like to apologize to the Saints because they do look like a very good football team this year. They do. Derek Carr's playing great. Alvin Kamara's having a bit of a resurgence after a bit of a slow year last year. The defense is doing its job. I'm not sure if it's sustainable long term. I would like to see them against some bigger teams. They have the Eagles at home this weekend coming up, and then the week after that they have the Chiefs. If they're 4-0 after this next 2-game stretch and this 4-game stretch to start the season, then we can start having some conversations about where they should be ranked in the NFC in terms of favorites to win it.
No, I think that they got the Eagles on lockdown right now.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, I mean, the Eagles have some injuries. I think Dallas has a better defense right now as it currently stands these first couple of weeks. And the Chiefs is such like a toss-up, man. I've seen a lot of teams take it to the Chiefs, and we'll get to that. There's some controversy going on with them on whether or not they're getting bailed out by calls late in games. But the fact of the matter is that Clint Kubiak has this offense fine-oiled machine. I mean, Derek Carr is, quite honestly, I don't know if he's the front runner for MVP, but he's definitely climbing up into the conversation. The way he's just been steering the ship, it hasn't been any rough waters, but it's literally two opponents in the Panthers and the Cowboys, who I would say is on the complete opposite sides of the regular season spectrum, where it comes to, this should be a layup, and this is really going to let you know where you're at as a team. And they not only passed the test with flying colors, they absolutely dominated the entire time. The defense, I'm still a little shaky on, but that offense is absolutely legit. And Alvin Kamara is literally just running through defenses like it's nobody's business, which is so weird to me because he already said that he doesn't want to be there. After the season, that's it. It's wraps. So maybe he's balling out for like that bigger contract, but I mean, if you're an Alvin Kamara and they continue to roll down this path, you gotta consider coming back. No, like I know apparently he sold the house. Apparently he told them straight up the time for renegotiations is over. I want no part of this anymore. I gave you the chance to put your money where your mouth is. I've been quality for you for years, and you're just not valuing me. It kind of felt like a Zeke Cowboys thing going on there with him, but nonetheless, I don't think he expected them to be this good through the first 2 games. Now, of course, I'm 100% jumping the gun right now because it's only been 2 games, and let's be honest, the Cowboys always will have a dominating win, and then we'll come back, week 2, week 3, week 4. There's always one of those trap games end up getting them. Happened with the Cardinals last year because they get complacent, honestly. But when the Cowboys get 50 pressures on the Cleveland Browns in week 1 and then come back and can't even get into double-digit pressures against Derek Carr, that tells me that they weren't just sleepwalking. They literally got out-schemed. So I don't know, man.
out schemed. Maybe the Saints' offensive line is better than we give it credit for. That might have been a group that was underrated going into the season. But yeah, I still think it's just too early to tell with the Saints, and I'm not ready to anoint them anything yet. We're not even sure if they're the best team in the division. You could say the Bucs have been playing just as good as football, if not as good as the Saints. I mean, I don't know about that. Offensively, the Saints are. I think they've scored 90 points through 2 games, which is just ridiculous. So that's definitely going to be a fun matchup between the Saints, Buccaneers, and even throw the Falcons into that mix. The NFC South might be better than we gave it credit for going into the season.
Yeah, I honestly, dude, I feel like, not to sound like a rookie, but this week, nobody anywhere saw this coming. I mean, this was the shakeup of all shakeups. Like 49ers going down, Tampa heading up into
Detroit.
Detroit was absolutely beautiful. I mean, all over the place, everywhere you looked, it was just like, what is happening? Did anybody have Atlanta over Philadelphia, even without A.J. Brown? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, this is why we love the game. Just, you never know what's going to happen. Pure magic, and that's the reason why they say any given Sunday.
Absolutely right, and you're totally right about how this week was quite the change up. There's a lot of upsets, a lot of surprises. Mazz, we started off solid. You more than anything else. You were 14-2 in week 1, and with your game picks, I was 10-6. For this past week, I was 8-8. You were 7-9. So I picked up a game on you there. You're now 21-11. I'm 18-14. So.
Little 3-game difference going on right now.
Yeah, so week 3 is going to be quite the potentially swing week in terms of picks, because there's a lot of games here that could go either way, and I'm interested to see between the two of us who's got what. But I think there's still a few more games we want to talk about in week 2 though, because there was a lot of things that went down. Starting with Thursday Night Football with the Bills and the Dolphins. Tua got banged up, but the Bills looked great in a dominating win even before Tua went down.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know if the Bills necessarily looked great or if the Dolphins just looked that bad. I mean, Tua, before he even went down, I'm sorry, he didn't look good, right? He even playing at home, he just looked out of his element. I mean, there was some horrible reads. He looked like the Tua that we've, tend to get to know before last season. It was always, Tua's got a decent arm, but where's the accuracy? He makes these rash decisions, throws into double coverage, just makes horrible reads. And then he cleaned it up last year, but I don't know what happened. James Cook starts running down the Dolphins' throat, and then Tua, I guess, trying to make up for it with some big plays. And it's just everywhere you turn did not go his way. And then when he goes and takes off, the most ironic thing happens as he hits into Damar Hamlin, of all people, right, who knows what it's like to be in a scary situation, and we have another one of those. And the only reason I think that Tua doesn't slide in that moment was because he was just desperate to make a play happen that was going to be positive for the Dolphins. Because right before that, I texted you and I said, Skylar Thompson time, right? Why did I text you that? Only not because I was hoping that Tua was going down, just because I thought that he missed a really easy throw into that end zone. I mean, he just overthrew it. I think any other quarterback in the NFL, including Bryce Young, I think would have made that throw. I think he overthrew it by that much, right? Big tight end, big target, already has the guy boxed out, and he just sailed it over him. So I just, things weren't going Tua's way. And now things really aren't going to his way. Now people are calling for him to retire, and I'm going to be honest with you. I can't make that decision for him. I think if any neurologist, though, clears him, like looking at the injury history, these are not your everyday concussions, my friend. We're talking about losing cognitive function and literally dropping after walking 2 steps, getting up. We're talking about seizing up, right? And literally, like, muscle spasms, muscle contractions to where, like, he's not moving. And if you watched, it looked like it happened again. So the second time, not as bad as last season's, but he looked like he seized up after taking that hit. And it wasn't even that hard of a hit. I think it was just him going with the head first and the head taking the brunt of the contact. I do not think the brother is, there. I don't think there is enough protection for the problems that are happening how do you say that?
Neurologically.
Thank you.
There you
All
go.
right. As I sit here and stumble over my words like I'm a damn Looney Tune, right? I can't say it. It's done. Fuck, screw it.
It honestly,
something's
it's
going wrong with
it's
the brain, Charlie.
It's very hard for it to come out even when I'm trying to say neurologically.
Neurologically.
There you go.
That is the most ridiculous word in the English language. All right, the brain's not functioning right, and I'm not making a joke of that. Like, it's a scary thing. This is also a guy, lucky for him though, if he isn't cleared in the contract, the remaining 120 plus million will be guaranteed, and they will have to pay him. Now, I'm sure the Dolphins are like, hey, let's get him back out there. But at what point do you protect the man from himself? You know, I know you want to get that return on your asset. You put a lot into him, but, dude, I mean, we're talking about this could be the matter between life and death play in this game when you have conditions like this going on. It's 3 of the worst concussions I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I agree with you. That every time Tua's, it's such a shame that it just continuously happens to him, and not many other quarterbacks have had to deal with this kind of scenario. And you're right, Mazz. It's not anyone's decision to make other than Tua's. It seems like he is leaning towards wanting to continue his career. I know the Dolphins put him on injured reserve this past week. He's going to be out a minimum of 4 games, but it's looking like that whenever he's going to be cleared, whenever he's going to be ready to go, he's going to come back. So hopefully Tua, can figure out how to slide and not put his head down when he's running into a defender. I wish nothing but the best for him. I don't want to see a guy's career cut short because of injuries. No one ever wants to see that.
No, of course. I want to see your injury, not take over. But this is the fact of the matter. And he's going to be playing under unique circumstances. And of course he's going to want to come back. You can say whatever you want about Tua. Doesn't make good reads. Doesn't have the accuracy. Not the guy I want for my franchise quarterback, regardless of injury history. But the one thing that you can never take away from Tua, that guy's a warrior. We've seen him be in worse condition and be like, I'm going back out there. And they let him do it is the worst part of all of it. They did it last year. I mean, Miami, the worst medical staff in the game, letting him check back into that game. The fact that the coaches even let him come back in after the medical staff was like, yeah, they're good. Like, dude, somebody needs to make a competent call for this guy because he's not going to do it. He's living his dream of being an NFL quarterback, the one thing that he's worked for years on. I mean, didn't his dad even, change his handiness, right, just so that he could stand out with the lefty quarterback? I don't think he's a natural lefty. I remember seeing something where, his dad kind of forced him to be a lefty, for whatever reason. But I swear to God, you can check this out. I hope I'm not wrong right now. I'm pretty sure I'm not, though. But it's this is a guy, his entire life, right, been training to get to the NFL, goes to Alabama. Jalen Hurts is in front of him, and Hurts, falters in a big game. He gets the opportunity. He makes the most of it. Oh, you found it?
Yeah, you are correct. His father changed him from throwing the ball with his right to his left. It doesn't say anything about just so he would stand out, but it was because his father's a left-handed and he wanted to throw left-handed.
Okay, that doesn't really make sense, and my reasoning's much better. And if I was them, I'd switch it to my reasoning for why they did it because I don't know. But nonetheless, right? Everything for this guy, it's to accumulate to this moment in his life of playing the highest level, the game that he loves, providing for his family in changing circumstances, right? Going to Alabama, being a backup, taking over in a big moment, did so well in it. Jalen Hurts, who you talk to anybody that is a fan of the NFL, Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback in the league, right? You don't think so?
No.
You don't think so? The last 2 years?
No.
Come on now.
Top 16, top 10. I don't know about that,
bro. I gotta disagree with you there. I mean,
all right.
With the dual threat, don't get me wrong. I think there's guys that pass better than Jalen Hurts, but playmaking, the way that he's led the Eagles, I think Jalen Hurts absolutely deserves to be up there. And I'm a Cowboys fan saying this. Right. However, right, that level of talent, he beat out when he, quite honestly, I think is the lesser talent with all due respect to him, But the guy's a warrior, and he's not going to go down without a fight. You're not just going to rip somebody's dream away without them having a say about it, But the fact of the matter remains that you can be a part of this beautiful game in another capacity. That he's not going to want to hear that, but it's not like we'll never hear of him ever again if he does choose to retire. And I do think that somebody needs to get out in front of him and give him these options because this is really dangerous.
Wishing Tua nothing but the best going forward, but we're gonna kick it over to the 1:00 games. Mazz, you're gonna have to help me out here because personally, for most of Sunday afternoon, my butt was parked in Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, watching the New York Jets take on the Tennessee Titans. How fun of a time that was absolutely incredible. But
did you have a good time?
I had the best time. It was so much fun.
Were you nervous at all during that game that they weren't going to get the win off?
Oh, 100, dude! At halftime, I was ready to jump off the ledge. Are you kidding me? That first quarter and a half was some of the worst football I'd seen in a while. The defense was getting punked. The offense couldn't string first downs together. But cooler heads prevailed. A-Rod took over in the second half. He was making throws all over the place. The Jets' defense stepped up. Will McDonald, second-year edge rusher out of Iowa, he had 3 sacks. Shout out WMD. It was a great time, and I think that's what hopefully I'm going to be expecting from the Jets going forward this season.
I saw Brian Callahan come out and hold his quarterback accountable, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I absolutely loved it. I saw a lot of people online being like, how dare he, just throw his guy under the bus, this and that. I don't want to hear none of that. This is supposed to be the leader of your team, all right? This is your quarterback, and back-to-back weeks, he has made plays that has quite literally possibly cost you the game, right? I don't know what it is about this shovel pass. He cannot get it done. I don't know why we're even attempting it, right? But Will Levis, I think if he can just be a little more competent, I think Tennessee could actually win some games. I like the kid, right? Even though the jar of mayo eating skeeves me out beyond belief, right? Mayo's okay on a sandwich, but to just straight up eat it with a spoon is absolutely ridiculous. But that's his prerogative, and he can do that, whatever. Welcome to America. However, right, you almost could have beat the Jets. You were right there. And then, boom, boneheaded mistake completely flips everything upside down for you. I mean, I loved it, though. You have any problem with a head coach holding his main guy accountable?
Not necessarily. I mean, obviously, I'm not an NFL coach, so I'm not seeing what Callahan's seeing. But, I mean, I didn't think Levis was the reason they lost that game to the Jets. He was definitely the reason they lost to the Bears week 1, but he was not the reason they lost to the Jets on Sunday. I think it was a multitude of things. There were some drops offensively. The Titans' defense didn't play great. They may had some mental lapse and miscues that helped the Jets pull that one out. But the Levis fumble, that was bad. But he also had some great throws. He's such a big guy. He had some really nice runs cutting through the Jets' defense. I think he just needs some more time. Not that the coach. It's not the coach's right to rip his quarterback like that. I just think I think Levis deserves a little bit more credit too.
Okay, I could see that. I really think that, everybody's looking at big mistakes, and I'm completely fine with you calling a guy out and being accountable for it. I don't think there was any maliciousness to it. I think it's straight up. It's like, hey, he's a grown-up. Here's the accountability, and I expect more from him because we put this much stake into him. Now, also, let's not forget, right? You look at a guy like Sam Darnold, who came out for the Jets, right? Didn't work out there. Gets bounced over to Carolina, then all the way over to the 49ers. And then, the Vikings went, I don't know what the 49ers see in him, but we need to get him over here right now because if they think that they can use him, we absolutely can use him. And we just lost Kirk Cousins. So let's go out there and get us a veteran quarterback. And look at this. Sam Darnold, after finally getting some chances to sit behind some, I don't want to say great quarterbacks, but just getting to sit back and just actually study the game. And he got to develop just by watching football at a high level around, true professionals. And now he's with the Vikings balling out. Will Levis really didn't get that, I feel like. I feel like we're in this new age of these new guys that we draft, the Caleb Williams of the world, right? The Bryce Youngs. Throw them out to the fire, and it has to work. And if we don't see something in 2 to 3 seasons, ship them the hell out and draft a new quarterback. And let's make sure that guy can live up to these absolute ridiculous standards of the reason why we're even drafting you this high in the damn first place is because we were this bad as a franchise. All right, it's not like he's walking in to the damn Chiefs and it's like, hey, we want you to be the new quarterback of a Super Bowl caliber team just because we lost our top quarterback, and we're gonna put you in the best situation to succeed. Even Caleb Williams, who we have said is in the best situation, maybe we're wrong because that offensive line is Swiss cheese. I don't know why we're not letting these guys develop. I don't think we should just be tossing rookie quarterbacks aside or sophomore quarterbacks aside because they didn't ball out in the first 1 to 2 years, when the fact of the matter remains, this is the NFL. Things happen, and it's hard to play in the damn league. I would like to see guys getting their shot to, develop a little more, give them a little more, rope to play with before you hang them with it. Like, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think the pushback on the Callahan-Levis, like that whole dynamic is just I think most coaches handle that kind of criticism internally, whereas Callahan has made it very public, where he's doing it at the press conferences, he's doing it at the podium. I mean, damn, he was doing it on the sidelines at Tennessee on Sunday. Levis was walking off the field and he was ripping him a new one before he even crossed the white chalk. You know what I mean? I just think some people and some coaches probably, when they do that kind of thing, they do it behind closed doors.
I've been ripped before coaches, man. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Like, if he's saying the right things, like if it's after like a bad play and he's holding accountability and it's not to be malicious, it's to teach, it's to learn, right? I really don't have a problem with that. I really think that we could use kind of more of that. I think it's exciting. I think, it gets people talking. The players might not like it, but let's be honest. Like, I think players have gotten a little soft when it comes to hard questions from the media, when it comes to accountability. And that's in all sports across everywhere. And I think it's not even just athletes. I think it's just people of this generation, to be honest with you. I think we could have a little thicker skin.
Tough to argue with that, especially in today's day and age. But Mazz, I'm going to kick this over to you. What game you want to talk about next? What stuck out to you on Sunday?
The Giants lost, and let me be on record to say it wasn't Daniel Jones' fault.
No,
absolutely not. I mean,
another one of those games I didn't watch, so fill me in.
3 touchdowns scored by the Giants. They didn't give up a touchdown, and they lost the damn game.
Ooh.
The first time it's ever happened in history. Scoring 3 touchdowns, giving up 0 touchdowns, and they lost the damn game. Daniel Jones did not look horrible. He didn't look great, but he did not look horrible. He looked like exactly what you should be with this roster. Forcing the ball to your main wide receiver, who happens to be a rookie. Malik Neighbors balled out this game.
I did see
However,
that, yes.
A crucial 4th down play. They hit him on an out route. Goes to make the diving catch. It hits him right in the hands. Knees on the ground, diving. Drops it. The only mistake that he had. Dude, he had some phenomenal plays. I saw him on a little hook route. Corner comes down, bites with it, quick spin, instantly gains a couple of yards right on them, just off the move. I mean, the kid was balling out all over the place. Malik Neighbors looked absolutely legit. Just in that one moment, just faltered. I think it just came down to maybe time management a little bit with coaching. The defense can't even fault them. They were only giving up field goals. I mean, it's just insane how this played out. It was absolutely absurd. And Daniel Jones, I mean, love to make him the fall guy. The fact of the matter remains, I didn't think that he looked that bad. Yeah, some mistakes here and there. I expect that, though. Again, this is an offense that has a wide receiver that's a rookie going for it. Really nothing else. I don't want to hear about Singletary. I don't want to hear about these other guys that haven't, done anything yet. They still need time to develop. I'm not trying to throw them to the fire. It's just that, I don't have high expectations for this Giants offense, and I will not have high expectations until 2-3 years from now.
Yeah, I picked them to win this game again, and now I'm 0-2 picking the Giants this season, so I think I might be done with that going forward.
Yeah, you've been it's interesting that's who you decided to choose for your swing games. Any thought process going into there, and for this week, I understood week 1, they were home. We didn't know what Sam Darnold was going to be, right? We didn't really trust, the Vikings for the most part, outside of, a wide receiver or two. And they got a good running back, but what was the thought process for this week going down to Washington?
I figured that the Giants are going to be a porous team this year, and that they're only going to pick up these kinds of wins against teams like them, like the Commanders, as I'm looking down the list right now, like a Carolina, who they play in a few weeks, a Raiders team maybe they could pick up a win against or something, even though they upset the Ravens in Baltimore this past weekend. That was quite the upset. But I just figured if they were going to pick up a game here, it was going to be against a team like the Commanders, and especially coming off a week where they were slandered to high hell up and down. Daniel Jones was getting, oh my goodness, the Giants were just being mocked and humiliated all week. So I figured they'd have some pride, come back and bounce back with a solid game, which, like you said, Mazz, they had 3 touchdowns. They held the Commanders to only field goals. They just came up just short. So, I mean, I don't think my thought process was misplaced, but just an unlucky turn there, I'd say.
Daniel Jones, 16 of 28, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. It's not a sexy game. It's not a great performance.
It's not.
However,
but like that's what the Giants expect from him. If they're gonna win a game, that's the performance they need from him on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it's not insane to just say don't turn the ball over.
Yeah,
it's a lot harder said than done, but just make good decisions. You're not gonna have great stats this year. It's the fact of the matter. We're not even gonna fault you for that. We've paid you for having mediocre seasons. Damn it, right? So like, if he can do that, I think they have a shot to win some games. I think their defense is pretty good. I mean, they've proven it. I love Dexter Lawrence, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. That guy's a monster.
One of the best interior defensive linemen in the league. Hands down.
Yeah, so there's some things to work with there for the future. But also, if you're the Giants, are you happy that you're losing these games? I don't know. I mean,
take it for a quarterback? I don't know.
I don't even know if a quarterback's necessarily going to... They definitely need a new quarterback. Let me say that.
They would have taken one if one of those Daniels, if one of those guys had fallen to their first round pick. I think they would have taken him. I just think where their position was this past draft, they didn't. This year, they're probably going to have a higher pick. I think it's quarterback time. Yeah,
I just Giants fans need to understand that it's going to take more than just a change at quarterback to get better. I do think they need a new quarterback, though. I'm 100% with that. I think Dable, if he's going to fall on the sword, wants to go down with his guy, that him and is it Joe Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah, that him and Joe Shane can bring in and be like, listen, we know that we've kind of been, stepping on broken glass over here, but let us just get our guy in here before you ship us out of town. And I'm fully with that. But, however, like I said, it's not just quarterback. There's one wide receiver that I trusted. A running back in Singletary, he's okay, but he shouldn't be a number 1 on a team. I'm sorry. That is a guy that could be used into a rotation, I think, but he's not going to dominate a game single-handedly, I believe. And they got to continue to build up that defense, and the offensive line needs to get better. I mean, there's holes everywhere for the Giants, but I understand chopping off the head of the snake and bringing in something else to see what you really got.
So Kansas City won on a walk-off field goal. Is that right?
I believe so, and horrible pass interference call. Is there a conspiracy going on here? Everybody's calling for it. I mean, I'm going to be honest. You have the reigning, defending, disputed now, Super Bowl champions, back-to-back years, chance to three-peat. And they seem like they're getting bailed out on pass interference calls late in games. Did you see the play?
I'm looking at it right now. Dude, he's draped over his back.
He was making a play on the ball, my friend, and I believe he got ball.
I don't know. If he's wrapped up around the back like that, I think they're going to call that every time, no matter if he touches the ball or not.
If I get hands on the ball, I made a play on the ball, and you can't fault me for that. That's the rules of the game, right? Now, if I tackled him, that's one thing, but just because there's a little contact and I got my hand on the ball, I made a play on the ball. That's what I'm allowed to do as a defender. We always forget this. Defensive players are allowed to use their hands, okay? I'm allowed to grab jersey, throw it out of the way. Offense can't do that to me. That's holding. Now, we have defensive holding when you are impeding somebody from getting off you and holding him on you, right? But I'm allowed to hold and rip off. I am also allowed to, when that ball is tipped, tackle anybody that's within the vicinity of the ball so that they can't make a play on it. We always forget about that. And I'm allowed to give you contact if I can touch the ball because I'm defending the ball. I can't run through you, right? But if I just make a couple of contact with my chest or my arm and I got the ball and it's not necessarily impeding you from catching it, like ripping your arm down, come on now. I didn't see an arm ripped on that one. I did see contact. It was not enough for me to be like, oh, he absolutely stopped him from catching that ball. He got there when the ball got there. And I believe he got ball on that.
All right, I guess we can agree to disagree there. I think that wasn't the play that everyone was talking about, though. Wasn't there Mahomes threw a pick that was called back on a defensive holding?
So I saw that he has 17 picks that have been called back. What's going on here? It's the most in NFL. It's the straight signs, I think, of... We used to say that Brady got special treatment, and he did, right? But I don't think Brady had this many interceptions overturned. 17 is insane. I mean, come on, dude. Like, double-digit interceptions, 3 away from 20 that have been overturned on a... Come on, bro. You cannot sit here and tell me that every single one of those was the right call to make. I refuse to believe it. Even if you divide it by half, my man. Come on. Like, I could believe half, but 17? Nah, bro. Get that out of here.
Brady had 16 called back interceptions in his entire career.
In a 20-year career. Come on. How many over under on 30 for Patrick Mahomes' career?
Wait, hold on one second.
What you got?
So, Aaron Rodgers actually has the most of all quarterbacks at 18. Drew Brees 17.
The most. And it's one more than what Patrick Mahomes currently has.
Yes.
Charlito Baduini, you cannot sit here and tell me there is not an agenda to make this guy look like a bigger star. And I get it. He is money. He is quite arguably the most talented quarterback to ever play the position, right? He draws in views. You add in the Taylor Swift romance with his favorite weapon at tight end in previous seasons, not this season, right? And it's just constantly printing money. I mean, he is the face of the team that has got women involved more than ever watching football. I get it. But for the love of God, man, he is good enough to not need this extra shenanigans.
Okay, but I got more information for you, though.
Yep.
So 8 of Mahomes' interceptions that were called back were offsides penalties.
Okay.
So what that tells me is that he had the free play and he took it.
He did the Rodgers.
Yeah. Rodgers only has 7 of those in his career. 5 of Brady's interceptions called back are holding. 3 of them pass interference. Yep. Only 2 of them offsides.
Okay. I mean, listen, I'll be the first one to tell you. They definitely favored Brady. I've never once faltered from that. I've also said that when you're the best in the game, you're going to get things going your way. However, the fact that this young man, 17, and how long's he's been in the league? What year are we approaching? 7?
6 or 7, yeah.
Okay, come on. This is like Brady accumulated that over years, and he deserved it, damn it. 17. And it hasn't even been a decade in the league. Is absolute blasphemy.
Well, I would push back on that and say 8 of them being offsides tells me Mahomes just it's the Rodgers thing. He has more than Rodgers. You know what I mean?
I get it.
You know?
I get it. Yeah. I just like, dude, I just feel like we're bailing them out,
All right.
and they don't need it. They're that good. The best. What more do you want? Damn it! The best head coach in the entire league, the best quarterback in the entire league. At one point, the best tight end in the entire league. I think the best offensive line, a top 10 defense right now. Probably, I'm giving them. They should be higher, honestly. You know, they have everything. A defensive coordinator that won them the Super Bowl with his blitz packages. Out-coaching what's supposed to be a top 2 offensive mind in the NFL, right? And he out-coached them in a game that favors the offensive side of the damn ball, Charlie. They have it all, and I'm not faulting them for it. They deserve it. They built this brick by brick, all right? Perfect game plan in terms of organization, structure, and building for the future and getting everything going. They do not need extra shenanigans going their way. I'll give you the offsides, but we can't be giving them all this other stuff. If a guy makes a damn play on defense against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, God damn it, you let it stand because it's hard enough to do already.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you.
All right. You know,
Thank you.
all-time Mazz rant right there. Obviously
Dude.
upset with the integrity of the game at the moment, but
I have a problem with everything. All of a sudden, we went from week 1. We are going to call the most ridiculous illegal formation, offensive tackles just back by half a yard. He's getting a leverage on the play. He's not really on the line. I barely saw a call this week. And when it was called, they literally decided, this team's doing it. We're going to call it. Oh, but the Chiefs did the same thing. Not going to call it. Not going to call it. Dude, if you're going to call a call and put an emphasis on it, then put the emphasis on it whenever you see it. Not when it's like, damn, I see it on the other side, but my side doesn't have it. If it's not my side, I'll call it. But I'm going to give that respect to the other line judge. You're telling me all of you refs didn't see the exact same thing in all of these games? Dude, I hate when there's a new rule that they want to emphasize, right? Because the emphasis doesn't come accordingly. This game is already at the discretion of the judges who work for the league. It's not a third party, okay? So we don't know if there's any shenanigans going with it, or if the league could potentially be saying, you know what? Hey, don't call it when you see it here. Let's try to get some ratings up. Like, listen, we know that there's shenanigans in boxing. We think that there's shenanigans with the UFC, and those are third-party judges, okay? Coming from athletic commissions. And we know that the third party is absolute BS. But you're expecting me to say the refs who control the game in terms of the laws of the game, who are employed by the league, who stands everything to gain if there's an exciting outcome or a certain team winning. Let's be honest, the Carolina Panthers winning don't sell tickets. The Kansas City Chiefs winning sells tickets whether you love or hate them because they're that polarizing. You cannot convince me that there isn't some shenanigans going on here. Just can't.
no comment.
Thank you. And I love this league. It's awesome. All right? I love watching it. I don't want to bash the league. I get it. They're trying to get ratings on. I'm just saying, don't insult my intelligence.
Okay. I'm not insulting your intelligence. I don't know if the fix is in the way you think it is, but
I think it's a straight fix, but I do think that it's too much at the discretion of the guys in stripes.
Okay.
Right? And who is in charge of the guys in stripes? The
Yeah.
league that has everything to gain from those calls go in a certain way. Thank you.
You don't think the NFL wants the Bengals to win? They don't want Joe Burrow to be one of those upper echelon guys in the face of the league guys?
Yeah, maybe not at the sacrifice of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, this is we are approaching. Oh my God, we actually have somebody that could dethrone Tom Brady. Are you kidding me? This fast? Are you serious? We found him? There's a situation that's believable? Oh, baby, let's ride it to the end. Oh, my God. We're approaching three-peat territory this fast? Oh, my. Listen, Brady didn't go down to him. We could protect that. But we were able to build up Patrick Mahomes as the next guy, and the next guys lived up to the hype, right? I'm just saying, man, that sells. People want to be a part of greatness. Greatness always sells tickets.
Hard to argue with that math.
Math, man.
Doesn't
know. Listen, it doesn't always calculate when we're talking numbers, but when we're talking scenarios and people, it's my specialty.
All right, Mazz, let me ask you this. Through the first 2 games of the NFL season, give me your most disappointing team and your most shocking team in a good way. You know what I mean?
Shocking team in a good way absolutely has to be the Vikings. I mean, I'm going to be honest.
Shout
I looked
out
at them.
Sammy D, baby.
Bro, I looked at them and I went, no. I just went absolutely no. And then to dethrone the San Francisco 49ers, yes, I know Christian McCaffrey isn't playing. Yes, I know Deebo Samuel went down. Yes, I know George Kittle ended up going down. But let's not act like there wasn't, marks to be made from 2 out of those 3 guys within that game.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings have not lost to the San Francisco 49ers in over 20 years. I think
that's
up.
That's not true because they
sure?
Kirk Cousins lost to them in the playoffs a few years ago.
No, but I mean regular season at home, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's been since the 90s that's happened. I thought I saw that, which is insane, especially providing with what the 49ers have right now. I mean, they're both in the NFC. This is not like they barely play each other. I imagine they see each other quite often.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. San Francisco has not won in Minnesota since December 1992.
Dude, that is insane.
I did not know that. That's absurd.
And it's not even that cold right now. Like I can understand like the weather factor. Like I know people probably like listening to this probably, Mazz, you're always talking about the weather. Like what are you, a goddamn weatherman? Like no, all right, but like it matters when you go into certain places. And yes, I'm pretty sure they play in a dome, right? But like, dude, just being up there, like it changes everything about you. Your body's a little more tighter, all right? Like even coming into the dome, right? Everything changes. The travel factor, going to a damn cold place when you're coming from beautiful Southern California, you can't tell me that doesn't have some type of a factor, right? Especially if you were playing outside, which they're not, I get that. But there's just no reason for this, right? I just don't get it. How are the Vikings this competent against the 49ers, which is, by every measure, a top 5 franchise all time?
I'll tell you.
Right?
I'll tell you exactly why. Kevin O'Connell. He needs to start getting his flowers as one of the best coaches in football because what he's been able to do the last few years, his first season as the Vikings head coach, they had their best record in a very long time. Last year, after Kirk Cousins went down, he was able to pull some strings with Nick Mullins and keep the Niners in the wild card race until December. And now he's got Sam Darnold looking like an MVP candidate in his offense. So I preseason I did not expect a lot from the Vikings this year just because I thought they were going to kind of mail it in with J.J. McCarthy going down. Maybe they'd put Justin Jefferson in some bubble wrap for the season, but Kevin O'Connell's got Sam Darnold as an MVP candidate right now. The offense is humming. The defense, Brian Flores has got that defense flying around the field like a bunch of madmen. And it might be looking like they're going to make some noise in the NFC this season.
I got to be honest, dude. I'm a big fan of Brian Flores. I absolutely hated what happened to him with Miami and the Dolphins and that, dumpster fire of a situation. And I believe Flores on every turn of it. I firmly believe that they wanted him to lose games and he didn't want to. And the fact that he stayed the course of, hey, I'm going to get demoted. I'm not even going to be a coordinator. I'm going to go be a linebackers coach for the Steelers because that's all that's really, looking for me right now. It seems like he went there, repaid his dues, and now has gotten back up to a coordinator. I would love to see Brian Flores as a head coach again. I know that Miami didn't have a great record under him, but let's be honest, Miami didn't have a good roster under him. I really think that's a guy that can make some noise.
He led one of those Dolphins teams. I want to say 21 or 22. They had like an 8-game winning streak. They started the season 1-7, and then finished like 8-8 or something like that.
Yep.
So he deserves more credit than what he's gotten so far. And I think Mazz, maybe if the Vikings end up having a strong season, he'll get some more looks again as a head coach somewhere around the league. But
yeah, no, I'm with you. In terms of disappointment, I would love to tell you it's the Dallas Cowboys, and I would love to go on a rant and all this stuff, but to be honest with you, And I would love to sit here and bash your Jets. I would love to sit there and be like, oh my God, what are we doing? But for my money's worth, I think the Texans are getting, into too many close shootouts with teams that I fully believe that they're better than.
The Texans? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
They're
I
2-0.
mean, listen, I got it, but, those games have just been too close for me. It looks sloppy. I think they should be winning those games against. I understand the Colts being, a little closer, in division rival. I get that. Going to be a harder game, but, dude, I think that they have so much more working for them than the Colts do that they should have absolutely won that game by more than just the 1 point that they did. The Chicago Bears have no offense. I don't know how they don't have no offense, right? I get it's a rookie quarterback. I know Keenan Allen's out, but they still have weapons. That offensive line has been that bad. The defense, though, you got to give them credit, has been pretty good.
That's what's been keeping them in games.
Yeah, but I think that the Texans, again, on both sides of the ball, should be better. I think there's Joe Mixon at running back, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and C.J. Stroud should be dominating more. Did I even mention a damn tight end that nobody wants to talk about that had a pretty damn good season before he even ended up there? All right? There is quite literally at every major position to make a play, there is somebody that is very useful, not just a body, right? Not just a name. Somebody that is, hey, I've had some bright moments in this league, whether it's been early on or like Stephon Diggs, and who's been really doing this. I expect more from them, to be honest. I know they're 2-0, but I thought that they were going to be absolutely cruising these first couple of weeks, and they're not.
I'm going to push back on you. I mean,
the
first game, a divisional opponent on the road.
Yep.
I don't care how you win that game. As long as you win it, that's fine. The Bear game on Sunday night, fine with me. The Bears defense looks good, man.
Yep.
They held the Titans offense to, I think, sub 150 if I'm not mistaken. Total yards of offense, forced some turnovers. Their special teams even scored a touchdown. To me, the Texans are right where they need to be, and that's that. I don't think I'm not expecting anything more. I'm not expecting anything less. I don't think there's been a disappointment there at all. I will say, yeah, I think my most disappointing team is the Bears so far, because through 2 weeks they don't even have a passing touchdown. You and I both thought going into the season that they would hit the ground running. They haven't yet. I'm not sure if that's an offensive problem with scheming. Maybe you're right. The offensive line has not played well through 2 games, and Caleb Williams has struggled. I thought he would be a little bit better off rip. I thought he had a higher floor than most of the quarterbacks in this draft, but evidently that's not the case at the moment. I like you said, I know Keenan Allen didn't play. I know O'Dunes is a little banged up, but Justin Fields was doing more with DJ Moore last year, and he had less.
Yep.
Same offensive line. I don't know. Definitely a little disappointing there for the Bears for me.
Have you seen the passing chart for Caleb Williams?
Mm-mm.
Nothing thrown in between the lines.
Yeah.
It's all I saw somebody posted on Instagram that he looks like a pitcher that is going to be sent down to the minors because he's just missing the strike zone. There's literally nothing in between the hash lines, and it was just all just outside throws. That is very interesting. I don't know why they're being that conservative, or why he's being that conservative, I should say. However, the fact of the matter remains, we didn't have confidence in the Bears, right? Their defense has been better, which I don't think either of us were talking about and giving credit for. So I apologize to them. They've absolutely have been rolling. But I didn't have high expectations for the Bears to begin with. I expected the offense to look good. I did not think that they were going to win games. I have expectations for the Texans to potentially make a legitimate run, potential Super Bowl bound, right? I think they absolutely could have made, or still can make, the AFC Championship game with this roster construction. I would like to see them put up bigger numbers against these teams. We talk about Miami football off this podcast, right? When it comes to college, Cam Ward, Heisman #1 candidate right now. Granted, they haven't really played anybody. The best opponent has been Florida, who's supposed to be having a down year. but they are steamrolling the teams that they're supposed to be steamrolling. There's Cam Ward throwing up the numbers he's supposed to against bad opponents. That's why he's the Heisman leader right now. I have not seen that from C.J. Stroud and them boys down in Texas.
Okay. For me, excuse me. Sorry, I had a little something stuck there for a moment. For me, my most surprising team has got to be, I think I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
And let me explain real quick. It's not that they've looked like the class of the NFC or anything, but going into the season, I had them like around like a 7-10, 8-9, just kind of like a mid-team. I think they got a legitimate shot at a wild card spot just from the way they've played these first two games. They lost the Buffalo game, but they took it down to the wire with Josh Allen and the Bills, and the Bills are a battle-tested playoff team. So anytime you're going to give them a run for their money, that's going to give you some points in my book. And then this past weekend, Sunday afternoon, laying the absolute smackdown on a injured Rams team that didn't have Puka, lost Cooper Kupp pretty early in the game, and also lost some offensive linemen before the game early in the week. I just think the Cardinals are kind of primed to be a bit of a jump start. You know, we'll catch you lacking kind of team. Kyler Murray is playing some great football. Coming off the ACL from last year, he has done nothing but improve and ascend and kind of revert back to that 2021, 2022 form where he was an MVP candidate for most of the year. The Cardinals were the 1 seed through like the first 12 weeks of the season. I don't know what Josh Gannon's got going on in Arizona, but the defense is playing good. The offense is humming. Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, James Conner's running around people. I think the Cardinals are set to be a really solid team in the NFC. NFC West is going to be interesting with the Niners. They got injuries. The Rams have injuries. The Seahawks and the Cardinals have a chance here to try and make up some early ground before the big juggernauts get healthy again.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a great position to be in them for them. Unfortunate circumstances with some big players going down for the Rams, but I'll tell you, dude, Kyler Murray has absolutely changed my entire opinion on him. Me and Khalil were talking about this money league that we're in, and he was like, dude, we got to go with Kyler. And I was like, dude, what? What are you talking about? I was like, I understand you want dual threat, but, like, are you sure? It's like, dude, I'm telling you, we could get good value for him, like, and it's going to be big. I absolutely have no clue what to think of Kyler in that first game going, it's not my job to get the ball to Marvin Harrison, when it's quite literally the quarterback's job to get it to your biggest playmakers. And that kid comes right out. What was it? 3 touchdowns
in the first quarter. Quarter.
Dude, I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal. Marvin Harrison, I think, is definitely going to be the real deal. People were telling me Malik Neighbors is going to be wide receiver number 1 out of this draft class. I said, I don't think so. I think Marv.
It's Maserati Marv.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Marv, dude. Malik Neighbors is good, dude. I'll tell you.
I'm not saying he's not. But Marvin
sure.
Harrison.
And I had O'Dunes over Neighbors, and as it's looking right now, I will concede Neighbors definitely over O'Dunes there right now. But over Marv, absolutely not. I mean, dude, that was insane. And even that Buffalo game, it just looked like Kyler was just like missing the read on him because he looked to be open down the field multiple times. But Kyler's, dude, even without Marv, right? Did you watch that game at all?
I did not, unfortunately. I saw a few highlights.
Saw the highlights. Yep, yeah. I'm with you, dude. Bear with me because I got to use my hand right now.
Let's do it.
So if this is Kyler, this is the end zone, right? Snaps the ball, drops back, pressure coming in, right? Little out to the side, steps back up into the pocket, and then all of a sudden they're trying to get pressure from behind. He somehow has eyes in the back of his head, instantly dashes out to the left while staying behind the line of scrimmage, rolls out, and then boom, on the run, throws it. Wide receiver cutting across the back end zone, sliding diving catch, perfect placement on the run after. Listen, they had some hands on him too. Like, he was weaving and wobbling. It is one of the best plays I've ever seen by a quarterback, and I cannot believe it was Kyler Murray that made it. Kudos to him. I knew the kid was good in college. I had high hopes for him in Arizona to begin with, and I was like, man, maybe this is just looking like, I don't know if the size is going to be there. They're looking like they're struggling, but good Lord. I would love to see what happened if Aaron Donald was playing. I don't know if the same play would have happened with the same pressure, to be honest with you. However, He made that play, dude, and I literally almost flipped the table. Holy Lord, what was that? One of the best plays I've ever seen.
If Aaron Donald's playing, maybe the Rams lost by one less touchdown, but I still think the outcome probably remains the same.
Oh, I'm just saying on that one play. I don't know if you have the same magic with it, because like I said, dude, like stepped back up into, like he had so much time to make it, so that offensive line, got to give their the compliments there to the big nasties up front, but the fact, the pocket present awareness, the scrambling, the throw downfield, I mean, there was not a single thing that Kyler Murray did wrong on that play, and it was absolute magic.
They're a fun watch for sure, and Kyler's also just a good talent who's, he's any given play, he's got an opportunity to do something like that that'll make your eyes pop out. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm really excited to see what the Cardinals will continue to do going forward.
For sure. And speaking of what they're going to do doing forward, and on a darker note, Carolina has officially benched their starting quarterback in Bryce Young, and it is Andy Dalton time. And I don't know what to think.
Mazz, can you please back me up here when I say that pre-draft of the 2022, I believe it was? Yeah, the 2022 draft. Do you remember me slamming the table on Ant and Mazz every day saying the Panthers need to take C.J. Stroud?
Yeah. Do you remember me saying you have 3 quarterbacks right now? And if I had to draft it right this second, it is Richardson,
yes,
Stroud, and then Young.
Yes.
And I will continue to stand by that. I cannot stand Alabama quarterbacks. There's just too much talent around them, right? And then they're going to go to the complete opposite situation, and there's not going to be enough talent around them. I didn't like Mac Jones. No disrespect. I didn't really like Tua. I didn't like Jalen Hurts until he went to Oklahoma. I just have this thing against Alabama quarterbacks, and it's strictly because I think they are that good at every other position. I'm not going to like Carson Beck this next upcoming year. There's a couple of guys that I just think that there's just been way too much around them. I was even a little iffy on Joe Burrow, but I was like, okay, they're going to get him, 2 top wide receivers coming into this thing. Like, they have a chance right now to put him into a comfortable situation that I liked it better than those Alabama quarterbacks because they're just not going into these good situations. Okay? So that's my thing. I will never like it. But continue, my friend.
Anyway, Bryce Young, he was never going to have the physical tools to succeed in the NFL. He's always been the 5'10", 180-pound quarterback, and that works when you're playing in college football. And like you said, Mazz, you have the best offensive line, you have the best weapons, you have the best everything at your disposal. But once you go to the NFL and your offensive linemen grow 3-4 inches and gain 50 pounds, and the guys who are running downfield are just an iota that much faster, it was never going to translate. And I think this is probably the best thing the Panthers can do right now, even if they do want to try and salvage something out of Bryce Young. But he cannot be playing at the moment. He has to sit back and watch, almost for his own physical health. He could get seriously hurt back there. I feel for the guy. There's no way he's going to be able to grow. He can maybe put some more weight on, but he's never going to get taller. He bounced a pass off the back of his center's helmet this past Sunday on a jump pass. The Bryce Young experiment has come to an end, and I think that Andy Dalton gives the Panthers a better chance to win right now than Bryce Young does. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I think Andy Dalton stepping in here. What I meant by I don't know what to think, it was I don't know if this kid's career is done. I'm not completely there yet, but like we've been saying, you have a veteran quarterback. You have this young guy that you took number 1 overall. You clearly believe in something, right? I didn't think he was the right choice, but that's where you went. That's the bed that you lay in. Now, you could go quarterback this next upcoming draft. I mean, as we said, Cam Ward is out there and looking absolutely fantastic. However, Andy Dalton's there. You pay these veteran quarterbacks when you're in these bad situations to, one, give these young guys a chance to breathe and learn, which they just said, hey, get out there. You're our starter, baby. Go ahead. And we literally are the worst franchise in the league for multiple years now. And we want you to be forged by fire. And, dude, there was fire everywhere. And he did not help the situation, right? I don't think he was ready for this. He wasn't the pick for me or you. But you have Andy Dalton, who's been under fire before. Let's not act like Cincinnati always had the best situation for him.
A serviceable starter.
So somebody that at this point in his career can make a play or two and can take those hits under fire. And no disrespect, I'm not trying to get Andy Dalton hurt out there, but that's just the fact of the matter with these veteran quarterbacks in the twilight of their careers. That's literally their job. He's taken these hits before. He's played in this league before. He's used to the level that's coming at him. The young boy's not used to it right now. And he doesn't have the physical tools necessary to protect himself. I ain't seeing no scrambling ability from him. I'm not seeing, quick reads and getting that ball out. I'm not even seeing big arm action to just chuck something up and just get the ball away from him. We talk about protecting players from themselves. You gotta see that he's not ready. He hasn't been ready, and he's not going to be ready for a little bit, if at all. You don't know. I like what they did here. I like that this wasn't a head coach decision. This wasn't just an ownership decision. This wasn't just a GM decision. Everybody said, apparently, no, we need to make the switch. And I'm glad they did it this early.
Yeah, it's better now than when you're 6 games in and you're 0-6 or whatever, and you've already lost. The team has already quit on you. I think that's why it happened so early on, was because I think Canales, I think is how you say his last name, the coach of the Panthers. I think he knew that if he trotted out Bryce next week against who they got next week. They got the Raiders in Vegas. If he trots out Bryce Young next weekend against Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins, and he folds under the pressure, the team's just going to quit. They're just going to mail it in for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I saw Adam Thielen come out and defend Bryce Young.
I saw that too.
There was 2 plays that I saw when they were going back on it on ESPN where he was like Thielen himself, not just other guys. Thielen himself, head in his hands, because he was wide open and the throw never came. And there wasn't yes, there was pressure that came, but there was enough time to make the throw, right? And he should have saw him. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, maybe he couldn't see over the line. I don't know. Listen, I'm 5'6", so I am valid to make these short jokes. All right.
All right, Mazz. Anything else you want to touch on in week 2, or you want to get to our game 3 picks?
Yeah, there's one more thing that I absolutely think that we need to touch on, and it happened. Hold on one second. Let me come right here. I want to talk about the Falcons.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Eagles.
Kirk's 2-minute game-winning drive?
That should have never happened in the first place, and I thought Nick Sirianni was going to bury a clipboard in someone's forehead.
Oh.
Yeah. The Eagles, in a crucial moment, I think it was a 4th and 3 down the other way before the drive comes. Player from Atlanta jumps offside. Neither the left guard nor the left tackle move. Nobody moved. If they move, they get the first down, game over. That's it. Defender enters the neutral zone, has time to jump back on sides before anybody moves. Sirianni losing his mind. I can't believe the Falcons even won this game, to be honest with you. I couldn't either. I'm so thankful that the Falcons won this game for 2 reasons. 1, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'm sick of hearing Eagles fans. 2, I got Drake London in fantasy. I also have Saquon Barkley in fantasy, and if it wasn't for Drake London after that drop pass, I literally had 64% odds of losing, and then Drake London completely switches the turn. The Eagles, I think, are better than this. Right, even without AJ Brown, I'm not sold on the Falcons. I'm still not sold on the Falcons. I'm sorry, but it was nice seeing that moment for them. Right, this is what everybody expects of them. Kirk Cousins being, big moment playability. Drake London supposed to be a high level talent, goes to him in these moments. They actually have some link upage. I will like to say though, I think Kyle Pitts, for the first time, is being utilized in an offense, and I like seeing it. But what do you think the actual ceiling is for these Falcons? Because I can't get a feel on them. I'm definitely lower on them than everybody else. But what do you think the gauge is right now with the way that Tampa's been playing and the way that New Orleans has been playing?
I think they can win the division. I think all 3 of those teams that you just named, the Saints, Falcons, and the Buccaneers, obviously, have a chance to win this division. All three of those teams look like they're playing competent football right now. All the offenses are humming. The defenses are playing good enough. All three of those teams have a shot to win this division and also maybe secure a wild card spot.
Rank them for me. Who's coming? After seeing them the first 2 weeks, where are you at with them? Who's going to win the division?
Dude, that's tough.
Yep.
Bucks, Saints, Falcons.
I'm right with you.
Yeah?
That's how I look at it exactly, my friend. I'm telling you, I am drinking the Baker Kool-Aid. He's there. Mike Evans didn't even have a big game. It was the Chris Godwin game up in Detroit. I'm loving it. I think Baker, I still think even with the way that Derek Carr's been playing, I think Baker has looked the best out of all quarterbacks in that division, and I'm standing by it.
It's hard to argue with that because Baker has been playing some of the best football of his career through these first 2 weeks of the season.
Charlie, can you just remind everybody who was on the Baker train before it even got to the Buccaneers?
That'd be this guy right here.
Thank you.
Yeah, this guy right there.
Thank you.
As my dog gets up behind me.
Yeah,
Hey,
I don't know what it was, dude. I saw him when he went to Carolina. Obviously, nothing there. When he got to play for the Rams, a couple of plays, I went, "Oh my God, there's something here."
Dude, I forgot.
I don't know.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. And I had the privilege of watching those couple of plays, right, that he got to step in for. And he looked good, man. Goes down to Tampa. They're just looking for a quarterback. This is a guy with a hunger. My franchise. Yep. See, the dogs are barking for a reason because there is a dog alert in Baker Mayfield. Rosie loves it. I love it. Baker is a dog, man. Franchise gave up on him. Didn't want him. Played an entire season with a torn labrum for them, and they still said, nah, even though I just gave the franchise the best seasons that they've seen since Otto freaking Graham or Jim Brown, all right? And they literally said, nah, dude, we're going to go with Deshaun Watson. You're out of here, who's been absolutely wonderful for them. Way to go there, right? Baker stays the course, head down, getting after it. What do I need to do to succeed? And it's finally coming. I want Baker Mayfield to be in an NFC championship game. I don't think they have enough to win a Super Bowl. I wish they did, but I don't think they have it right now. However, there's a path for them with everybody faltering and the chaos that's been going and the way that they've been playing. They've already taken down Detroit. Who's to say that they can't take down Dallas or Philly, for crying out loud, when Detroit's better than both of them right this second? You know? I don't know, man.
I don't hate it, Mazz.
I would love to see the Bucks go on a run, dude. If I was not a Dallas Cowboys fan, I've always said I'd be a Falcons fan because I was a big Michael Vick guy. However, I am inclined to be a Buccaneers fan because they got the nicest helmets in the game. And I love this team, and I don't know what it is about them, but they're fun to watch.
They got a great aesthetic. I'll absolutely give you that. Mazz, just a few quick football updates for you. So, Matt Eberflus says the Bears have zero plans to make any changes to the offensive line, despite Sunday night's performance where Caleb Williams was sacked 7 times and hit 11 times.
Are you kidding me?
I guess not. Baker may... Oh, sorry.
You're not going to get a fullback in there and give some extra blocking? I'd be going double tight end set, and both of them are staying inside, damn it.
I don't know. Two games in. Give it another week or so. Let's talk in October, and if we're still struggling, then we'll make some changes, okay?
Who's their next game?
They have the Colts this week.
Okay. It's not the scariest defense, but who's the next week?
I don't have it in front of me at the moment.
My apologies putting you on the spot, my buddy.
All good. That's what we have the trusty interwebs for. They have the Rams the week after that.
It might be getting a little easier.
Panthers after that.
Dude, am I hitting the Bears money line for 2 out of the next 3 weeks? Maybe.
Baker Mayfield is rooting for Carolina's Bryce Young. Quote, his story is far, far from finished.
I just don't see them giving up on him that fast, right? However, if they do draft a quarterback, yeah, I mean, I think the writing could potentially be on the wall. That all depends on what direction they want to go with. And they need a lot more besides just a quarterback, more so than the Giants do. Because they traded the Giants, one of their best guys.
They did, in fact. Jordan Love has returned to practice today.
That is impressive.
Very
I just
impressive.
saw that.
Very impressive.
But hey, you know what? You got to give it to Malik Willis. He looked way better than I thought he was going to be, and that is absolutely a testament to Matt LaFleur.
Absolutely, 100%. Did not expect the Packers to win that game just because of Malik Willis's track record as a starting quarterback. But yeah, like you said, Matt LaFleur, shout out, curating the perfect game plan to pick up a win against a Colts team that's no easy out. No easy out.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I really think this is truly speaking to some coaches are literally just better than others.
100%.
Some players, it's so crazy how different their career would be if they were just not even in a better situation, just like it could be the same level of situation, just with a different leader, group of guys, whatever. You know, it is so insane how things work out. Right place, right time does wonders.
Last thing for you, Cooper Kupp was not placed on injured reserve, which means the Rams expect him to be back within 4 weeks. Yeah, you and me both praising that one. We're both Cooper Kupp fantasy owners.
Not only fantasy owners, I've on the record of saying when he was at his height, that was the best receiver in the NFL.
100%. Other than that, I got nothing for you, Mazz. What do you got for me?
I got something for you, not on the football side of things, right? We talk things all major in sports here, but it has been obviously football focused for good reason, right? I mean, nothing's really popping off in baseball for me until we get to playoff season. We'll bring Ant back on for that to smarten us up. But Adrian Wojnarowski stepping down from ESPN. I did not see that coming. Ever.
Dude,
I
respect the hell out of it.
Do you?
100%. Are you kidding me? He's turning down $20 million a year from ESPN to go work as the general manager at Saint. I'm sorry, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Saint Bonaventure.
Bonaventure, yeah.
In New York.
Yep.
That's
his alma mater.
That is his alma mater. Dude, he's doing this. He's doing this for the love, for the love of the game.
Dude.
I'm sure he's made enough money over his career to be able to.
That's a better man than me.
I mean, given the circumstance, do I turn that down? Maybe not. Probably not.
I'm telling you right now, dude. I don't have a good enough heart in me. I think I'm a good guy. I'm a good friend. I think a decent son. I could be better in all aspects. But I'm telling you right now, $20 million a year. I ain't taking that pay cut, brother. I'm sorry. I mean, that is absolute. I think my heart just skipped a beat. I literally almost just passed out on this podcast. I was not aware that's how much money he was walking. I know he was walking away from a prime situation. Walking away from $20 million. Oh my God. That is insane. But you know what, dude? On a selfish note.
You got to respect it, though.
Sure. Because I don't have the cojones to do it myself. Just not a chance. We always talk about these prime positions, right, when it comes to the industry that we're trying to get into. And I do appreciate that the domino effect that this is going to have, right? Somebody's going to end up taking that spot, boom, 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 boom. Jobs are going to open up. It's going to have a ripple effect, right? The guys that have been dominating the scene, I love them going out on top instead of, quote unquote, hogging the position until there's just not doing it at a high level, right? So that's why I appreciate this, and I appreciate him. And let's be honest, dude. I mean, the most reliable name in sports reporting my entire childhood, I believe. And there's some great guys out there. Shams, Rappaport, you name it. But Woj
from Yahoo to ESPN, he was the guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first guy I feel like really utilized, Twitter breaking news before anybody even had a whiff of it.
Yep.
That magical draft night where he was so-and-so's taking this with whatever pick before it even got announced. Like, talk about having the inside scoop, and that's a testament to the network that he's built. The guys that, some of the guys that work under him and girls that work under him that we don't even know the names of just because their role is to be a part of that pipeline and, hey, here's the information. It's going to be more credible coming from you. One of them, I'm sure, is going to get a spotlight, and I hope all of them do for the hard work that they do. I mean, this is quite the moment in this industry, bro. I'll tell you. And I got to salute it because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'd have the nuts to walk away.
Yeah, there was an outpouring of support from across the world of sports media, of journalists and personalities just speaking out to the testament of Woj's character, like how his journalistic integrity, what he did for the world of sports media, as you said, revolutionizing sports reporting in terms of social media. You can thank Woj for all of that, for just about everything of that. But yeah, like you said, it is going to open up some doors for some people out there who, were working in that pipeline. I wonder if what he's like, is he going to pass off his sources to somebody? Like, is he just going to take them with him? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you would like to think that there's a successor that,
right?
That maybe, I like to think it's somebody under him that, hey, keys to the castle, buddy. Or whoever it is. I don't know what the person looks like, who they are, or whatever. Like, I just like to think that there's somebody, I don't care who it is, just that there's somebody that's been grinding for years under him that will now get elevated in as much that's what I would hope would happen. I'm sure, the big wigs above already have somebody in mind, but it is interesting to see what does happen with those sources. I didn't even think of that for a second, to be honest with you. What if he just, I'm taking it with me, that's it. Like, these are my contacts, they only trust me, and a great secret has been lost to the world of sports reporting.
Interesting note for you, Shams Charania is a impending free agent. His contract with the Athletic expires, I believe, in the next few months. I think early 2025.
Okay.
I think you could probably see ESPN turn around and hand it back to Shams and say, "Hey, we just lost the best. We need the second best. Can you come replace him here at ESPN?"
He's a guy that I think the only person in the world of basketball that has been rivaling Wojnarowski in terms of breaking news.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how the hell they build up these networks to get this information. And, let's be honest, some of the things that they've gotten, I mean, it could get somebody in trouble if they found out that they've been passing it on to the media. And I'm sure that in other situations, they just have great rapport with organizations of, hey, we want this out there. We trust you to do it because you're going to break it exactly at the right time that we want you to and the way we want it to be spun, So it's I got to also salute, too, man. I don't want to take away from athletes, 'cause let's be honest, right? I'm definitely, if I could be playing a professional sport, I would be. And I found broadcasting because I wasn't able to go to those next levels with athletics, But to see somebody build that career while not being a super athlete, right? Just grinding as an average person to get to this. I mean, like, dude, it's inspiring, right? And to walk away on his terms, I mean,
Shout out Woj. Shout out Woj. And it's I just had something. Hold on. Yeah, turning off Woj's Twitter notifications it's like turning off the bat signal, dude.
Oh, dude, I didn't even. Again, you're bringing up all these things I didn't even think about, man.
Like, he's not even going to be, you know what I mean? He's like, it's unfortunate, man. It really is. But hey, shout out Woj, doing his own thing. And I'm sure if he ever felt the need to come back, I'm sure he would be welcomed back with open arms.
Do you think we'll ever get, like, stepping away all this, but I still got you on draft night.
Yeah, right. Like, he'll still put some little tidbits out here and there.
Yeah, just hey, real quick, just to let you know, the Portland Trail Blazers are taking Joey Smith with the second pick overall, even though he's projected to go the seventh pick. We'll see what happens, man. Charlie.
Yeah.
As a, sports broadcaster trying to make it in this industry, what do you think it takes to get to those heights?
You got to know people.
You think it's networking?
It's networking. I mean, obviously you have to be a writer. Like Woj obviously was huge for his, his Twitter. Like he would break stories, break trades, break, tip draft picks, all that kind of stuff, free agents. You got to be a writer. You got to know people inside organizations. All these guys start somewhere in one market, and then they expand their roots, their network. You want to say, they get friendly with agents. They get friendly with executives. Not even just on the basketball operation side of things. I'm sure they get in touch on the business side. You know what I mean? That's how I assume it happens.
I hope you're right, and hopefully we can follow some kind of a blueprint laid down before it. But I do believe we do have some pick'ems to get to, my friend.
100% we do, and another full 16-game slate for Week 3. And as I'm looking down the list, I don't see a spread larger than 7.5 points. So
why would you after the chaos that we just saw? I mean, listen, this is pinball mania. Where's it gonna land?
Yeah.
You don't know.
All right, so we'll kick things off with Thursday Night Football.
Yes, sir.
New England Patriots are heading to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Jets. The Jets coming off a win in Tennessee. Patriots coming off a loss at home to the Seahawks in overtime. Mazz, who you got?
I think the Patriots are going to give the Jets some trouble with their defense. However, it is at MetLife. If this was later in the year outside at Gillette, maybe. But the Dark Emperor Palpatine is no longer there, right? Although you got to give it to it's Gerard Mayo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, got to give it to him, dude. I mean, they've looked way better than I gave them credit for. Clearly, Kraft and the organization saw something in him that none of us knew about, and great job by them. However, I'm rocking with Gangrene for another week.
I hear you on the defenses. That's definitely going to be a tough one. This is the lowest over/under of the week at 37.5 on currently listed on DraftKings. So it's gonna be a slow game, low scoring. The defenses will be making plays, and whoever makes the most plays on offense will probably win. But I'm with you. I'm also picking the Jets. Home opener. Energy is gonna be great. I will be there. I can't wait. And give me the Jets, baby.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Chicago at Indianapolis. Colts 1-point favorites, so it's a pick 'em.
No, it's not. Give me the Colts, man. This is coming down to quarterback play, and one guy balled out against Houston, and another guy played that exact same Houston team and didn't do a damn thing. Give me Anthony Richardson. Give me the Colts, and I think the defense for Chicago is going to continue to show up, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Do it. I want you to. I see the look in your eyes.
No. I'm picking the Colts too. I'm pulling something up for you that I remember from the last time the Colts and the Bears met. I don't know if it still stands though. So, you got the Colts. I got the Colts, right?
Yep.
I like AR against the Bears. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2004.
Yep.
The Colts and the Bears play every 4 years, right?
Okay.
Since 2004, the winner of the Bears-Colts game determines the outcome of the presidential election.
What?
If the Colts win, the Republican nominee wins. If the Bears win, the Democratic nominee wins. So here we go. Ready? Let me take it back to 2004 for you. The Colts and the Bears played. The Colts won 41-10. George W. Bush wins the election.
Oh
2008 and 2012, the Bears win.
Obama.
Barack Obama. 2016.
Over. Hold on. I think I got this. I believe that was McCain the first time. And then the second time was definitely Mitt Romney. Obama wins again.
Correct. 2016, the Colts and the Bears play. Colts win. Donald Trump wins the election.
Over Hillary Clinton.
Now, this is where things go wrong. In 2020, the Colts beat the Bears 19-11, but Joe Biden won the election. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen this year? We'll see if it has any preeminent effect on the presidential election. But I'm picking the Colts, and not for any particular reason other than I think they're a better football team than the Chicago Bears.
I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely buying your story until we got to the Joe Biden one. I mean, come on, dude, that's just an uncanny precedent. It's already been broken. You had me there. It was interesting as hell. Yeah, I had you. I was like, holy hell, are you serious right now? I mean, dude, you know me. I'm into politics. I like talking about it. I just it's not even just politics. I love debating people, especially with opposing viewpoints, no matter what it is. It's why I love sports, right? But all topics. I love having conversations and talking with people that don't see the world the same way that I see it. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was gonna be really interesting, but now I do not give a damn because it's not true. But I do appreciate you bringing it up because now there is a piece of me, this small, it was a giant piece. I was like, oh my God, what? And now there's a small piece that's linking there like, oh my God, what if this actually means something? I don't know.
You know, I was going to make a rigged election joke, but I'm not going to stoop that low in 2020.
Good.
A joke. I was going to make a joke, okay? And I was not a
just
statement.
Like that,
not a statement, a joke.
It's just like that. We gain people from the South loving this podcast for one statement from Charlie, and the entire Northeast of the country says, get these two bums the hell out of here.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. We'll see what happens, but regardless,
viewership in Sussex County, New Jersey goes through the roof. Morris County says, shove it.
We'll see. We'll see if anyone even gets that far. All right.
Oh man.
All right.
Too funny.
Green Bay at Tennessee. Tennessee's. I put them down at 3-point favorites, but that was before the Jordan Love news came out. We'll see if the line moved at all. Yeah, Packers gained half a point. They're now 2.5-point underdogs.
Dude, this is so hard. Okay. They played a tough defense against Chicago. They played a tough defense against the Jets. Is Green Bay's defense up to that level? Yeah, I kind of think so. I don't think it's a bad defense, you know? Yeah, I think I do think Will Levis is going to come out with a fire under him. I don't think he's going to crack under that. I don't think we're going to see a shovel pass at all. I don't think he's going to attempt it at all. Give me Green Bay.
I like the Titans at home here.
Okay.
I think they've had two tough losses to start the season, and they're due for a win. I like Levis. I'm a fan of their weapons they have. DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tajay Spears, and Tony Pollard. I think they got enough offensively to make it happen against Green Bay. Defensively, I think they can still slow down that Packers offense whether or not Jordan Love plays. If Jordan Love does play, I think he'll be a little hobbled. He probably won't have as much mobility as he had, week 1 in Philly before the injury. And even if Jordan Love can't go, it's Malik Willis. I don't think he's going to be able to string together that magic again for 2 weeks in a row. So I'm going to go with the Titans.
Gotcha. I'm banking all of this on a LaFleur game plan.
Fair enough. And it's hard to go against that considering what happened last week, but I'm going to stick with my Titans.
Okay.
Shout out Nashville. Shout out Tennessee. All right. Houston Texans at Minnesota Vikings. Houston 2.5-point favorites on the road.
Dude, why are these so hard?
Dude, this really
is Jefferson playing?
I believe so. I believe he's been practicing this week. So.
Dude, my two teams that I literally just said I need one to be better and one's been cruising. But I'm not gonna lie, I think the cruising comes to an end right now. I think Houston gets this job done.
I'm with you, Mazz. I like Houston. I know that the Vikings have been a great story these first 2 weeks of the season. Able to upset San Fran, got the win in East Rutherford week 1 against the Giants. I'm with you though. I think Houston might be a little too much for the Vikings to handle. Not that they're going to come back down to earth. I think it'll still be a good game, but I like Houston in this one. All right, moving onwards to the Los Angeles Chargers flying cross country to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Justin Fields, we didn't really touch on that too much, but Mike Tomlin's riding the hot hand. I think Russell Wilson is healthy. I wouldn't say he's 100% healthy. I think if he had to play, he would. Otherwise, he wouldn't be suiting up on the sidelines for these past 2 games. But as of right now, Justin Fields is the hot hand. The Steelers are going to ride that, and I think they ride it to a 3rd straight victory.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh on this one. I'm surprised that you're not taking the Chargers. you are the biggest fan of Justin Herbert I think I've ever seen in my life. I know you like the coaching situation going on there. I love the defense coming from Pittsburgh, though. I think it's smart not to play Russell Wilson, even though I think like if he was healthy, they said he was going to be the starter. I believe he is better than Justin Fields, but you're winning games. What's the point of trotting out Wilson if it's not needed right now? I mean, when it starts to falter, hey, okay, now we need you to step up. But I think you let Justin Fields rock for as long as he can until you know that Russ is going to get better. And then, boom, I mean, Russ gets healthy right before, who knows? They might let Justin Fields rock for the next couple of weeks. And then as it's getting to that competitive time where, hey, we really need wins, we're trying to solidify a spot to make the playoffs, comes right back over the top with an experienced quarterback that has won a Super Bowl. Why not?
Yeah, for me, it's the defense for sure. I think the Steelers have enough weapons defensively that they're going to make the Chargers' life a little hard. Herbert, as much as I love Herbert, there's just not enough offensively for me there to say, hey, I think they can march into Pittsburgh and pick up that win.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I really wanted you to take the Chargers. I was like, I got him on this one. Let's go.
Not this one. Not this one. All right, moving on. The New York Giants are going to be in Cleveland taking on the Browns. Browns 6-point favorites at home.
Oh,
it's
dude.
pretty easy, Cleveland. Come on.
Yeah, I really thought the Jaguars were going to get the job done against Cleveland. Like, there was moments to win that. If you watch that game, I felt like the Jaguars had like the ball on a drive for 7, maybe 8 minutes. It was just ridiculous. And it ended in a damn field goal because that defense can falter. It might bend, but it doesn't really break like that. And it's certainly not going to break against the Giants. Give me Cleveland.
New Orleans at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Saints have a chance to continue to prove their mettle as they host one of the better teams in the NFC East for sure in that top half. Saints 2.5-point favorites. Mazz, I think we're both on the Saints here.
Yeah, I think I have to be just seeing what they did in Dallas to Dallas, seeing what the Falcons did to Philadelphia.
No A.J. Brown still, like you said, he's going to be out another 2 weeks, right?
I believe so. I saw that A.J. Brown isn't going to be playing this one. And they had troubles with Bijan. I think that they're going to have a lot of trouble with Alvin Kamara. I don't think he's going for 5 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to be dominating it the way that he did against the Cowboys. However, I don't think it's going to be enough to slow it down. I think I got to go with the Saints in NOLA. I
like it. All right, moving on to the Carolina Panthers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Mazz, who you got?
Andy Dalton time, baby! Let's go! The Panthers are going to lose another week because Max Crosby might actually fold him like a lawn chair. All right, the Raiders are coming. Go ahead. I want you to. Good. You don't believe in this. You didn't even want Antonio Pierce to be their head coach. You don't like the Raiders. You never did like the Raiders, and I don't blame you. I don't like the quarterback situation, but I love their defense, and I love their head coach. Go ahead, take the Panthers. New look, new energy, all that rah-rah BS. I want you to do it. Not happening. Vegas, baby. Rolling.
Give me the Panthers.
Yes! Yes! This is a even better case scenario than the Steelers versus the Chargers, and you fell into the trap. Thank you. I love you for being incompetent right now.
Incompetent? Really?
Yes.
All right, can I give you my reasoning first, please?
If they win and I eat, I'm going to look like such a J.O.
Here's my thought process.
Yep.
The Panthers, probably after those first 2 games, were about as demoralized as a team as you could be.
Yep.
That's why Dave Canales made the quarterback change.
Mm-hmm.
If you recall, last year, Bryce Young played the first few games of the season, got hurt, he got an ankle sprain, and Andy Dalton had to step in for a game or 2. He stepped in and led the Panthers to a win in Seattle.
Yep.
I like Andy Dalton stepping in here and leading the Panthers to a win against the Raiders. I think they got enough offensively to make it happen. The offensive line isn't that bad. It really is not. They got weapons. They got Adam Thielen, Deontay Johnson. Okay, maybe they don't have weapons, but they got a couple guys who can make some plays.
Serviceable guys.
Yeah. Defensively, I mean, not great, but I still think they can do enough to beat this Raiders team that isn't that good. Like you said, Mazz, I'm not big on Antonio Pierce. I love Gardner Minshew, the guy. Would I want him as my starting quarterback? No. I love Max Crosby. I like Christian Wilkins. I just think the Panthers, little change of moxie, little change of energy, marching into Vegas and picking up a win.
The Ravens thought they were going to beat them. We thought the Ravens were going to beat them. And they took it to the Ravens, who were way better than the Panthers. I just don't see it happening, my friend.
The Raiders won in Vegas no. The Raiders won in Baltimore last year, or am I mistaken?
That is a great question.
Actually,
in my mind.
no. You want to know why I think Gardner Minshew marched into Baltimore last year and beat the Ravens as the Colts quarterback. I think the Ravens just have a Gardner Minshew kryptonite problem. That's why they lost.
Well, if that's a kryptonite, I mean, it's going to be an absolute meteor that comes raining down on Carolina. Keep it moving.
All right, Miami Dolphins headed to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Skylar Thompson will be playing for the Dolphins. Mazz, I think it's safe to say you and I are both on the Seahawks here.
Yeah, I got to go with it. Although I do think that Miami's offense is going to look better than they did against the Bills. I think it just has to.
Wow.
I think it has to. It was that bad of a showing for that offense on Thursday night down in Miami. I don't think they're winning this game, but I do think that McDaniels is going to have just a little something extra for them to even. I think they're going to compete in this game, but I do think ultimately the Seattle is going to be too much to withstand. Because it can't get worse, dude. I mean, dude, there was interception after interception. It cannot be worse. It just can't. And it was bad. It wasn't even great plays on the interceptions for the most part. I mean, it was just
bad balls,
bad decision making.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think Skylar Thompson is going to be as rattled. You know.
All right, moving on to the 4:00 games, I believe. Baltimore at Dallas. Baltimore 1.5-point favorites on the road. An 0-2 team favored in Dallas, Mazz. What's that about?
I'll tell you what it's about. There's a reigning 2-time MVP in Lamar Jackson. There is Derrick Henry. There is a great defense coming after it. Zay Flowers emerging. Give me Dallas. Give me Dallas.
Okay.
You cannot. I refuse to believe that Jerry Jones didn't walk in there after that embarrassment and went, I'll fire every single goddamn one of you right now. So help me God. I don't even care if we win another game. If we lose this next game in that embarrassing fashion, so help me God. All of you. I got Bill Belichick on the damn sideline waiting for the damn call. I'll give him the call right now regardless of what we do the rest of the year. You cannot go down back-to-back weeks like that. Dak, you didn't even look that bad. Yes, there is a pick or two coming in there, but you know what? I need you to make some better decision makers. I need you to get that passing game getting out there and absolutely better. We got to establish the run, and so help me God, Mike Zimmer, I will send you back to the depths of wherever the hell you crawled out of before you got here, because week 1, defense looked fantastic. Week 2, sweet Jesus, we looked like we fell down a well with no flashlight, no rope, and we didn't know how to swim. No floaties, nothing. We just sank to the bottom, and we're just trapped. It has to be better. It cannot be as bad. And you're home. Dallas has been dominant the last 2 years at home. That I refuse that it can happen again. It has I talked with Akafone, our good buddy of the show, diehard Ravens fan, and he even says that he doesn't think that the Ravens are going to get the job done here. However, it is kind of hard for me to think that the Ravens are going to go 0-3 to start the season the way that I've built them up, and that is what's stopping me. So I absolutely understand why you're going to take the Ravens with your pick, but give me Dallas. I have to have the faith. I have to. It's all that I have left.
Yeah, I'm leaning Baltimore, and Mazz, you hit the nail on the head. I just do not see this Baltimore team that has been the cream of the crop in the AFC for the last almost decade at this point. They maybe had only like 1 or 2 down years in that time frame. I have a hard time thinking they go down 0-3 to start the season.
Yep.
And I'm not even a Dallas hater. I'm a fan of their team. I like what they got going on. I just don't see Baltimore dropping down to 0-3 to start the season. That's a pretty steep hole to dig out of. I think Lamar and company gets their first win on the road in Big D.
Yeah, I just my main school of thought is they struggled with the rush that was coming from the Raiders. I think Michael Parsons coming back with a vengeance after being shut down by that Saints team. I have no faith when it comes to the Baltimore offensive line. I think they'll clean it up for later in the season. But yeah, give me Dallas.
All right, moving on. Detroit heading to Arizona to play the Cardinals.
What a great week of football, man.
That's going to be a really good game.
It's going to be such a good game. And I want to tell you that Kyler Murray is going to win it. I want to tell you that Maserati Marv's going to pop off for 3 touchdowns again. And you know what? They just might. I don't love the secondary coming from Detroit. Detroit just struggled against, Tampa. Granted, Chris Godwin. Granted, Mike Evans. Dude, I don't even know what to think on this one, but if I do know anything about Detroit, they're going to be coming out. They're going to be playing in a dome again, so it should feel like just playing like in Detroit, right? I think I gotta. This is one of those heart with Arizona, and I want to be wrong, I think, but I think I just have to go with Detroit.
I'm with you, and I was the one who was pounding the table for the Cardinals preseason. But I just don't see I think Detroit's probably feeling a little embarrassed, even though maybe they shouldn't be, because Tampa Bay is a very quality team, and obviously They only lost by, I think it was 10 points in the playoffs last year to them. But I think Detroit kind of wakes up a little bit and has a bounce back game and says, all right, let's get back on the right track here. And not that they're going to steamroll Arizona, but I think they'll pick up a win in like a 1-possession game.
Yeah, I actually see it happening the exact same way. I think this could legitimately come down to who has the ball last.
Yeah, for sure. All right. San Francisco 49ers at Los Angeles Rams. Rams super banged up, missing their top 2 receivers, missing almost, I think, 2 starting offensive linemen, but they still got Matt Stafford. So they always got a chance.
And San Francisco has some injuries too.
Yeah, no CMC or Debo.
Yep. Kittle got a little banged up towards the end of that game as well. I just still think that when it comes to roster, I prefer the 49ers.
Better defense, even with the injuries.
Yeah. No question. Give me San Francisco.
All right, we're on the same boat there. Sunday Night Football. Kansas City Chiefs at Atlanta Falcons. Chiefs 3.5-point favorites on the road. So this is going to be a good test for the Falcons to see where they're at after that surprising win against Philly Monday night. But I think probably both on the Chiefs here, Mazz.
We never talked about this. Pacheco's out.
Yeah, he fractured his fibula.
Yep, I'm absolutely heartbroken about that.
I know, he's so much fun to watch.
Fantasy football as well.
Yeah.
You
see they signed Kareem Hunt to the practice squad?
Yeah, makes sense. But I've been hearing a lot about, I think it's Carson Steele.
Yeah, undrafted free agent running back out of UCLA.
Yeah, him and Samaje Perine are supposed to be taking a bulk of the touches. I don't even know if Kareem Hunt's really going to get up and going before Pacheco even gets back.
Yeah, he wasn't even on a roster for training camp. So
yeah, so we'll see what happens for sure. But I mean, if there's anybody who can make something out of a bad situation, it is Andy Reid. It is Patrick Mahomes. They have won games with less talent, and they will continue to do that right now down in Atlanta. Sorry, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but I got to rock with the Chiefs.
I'm also rocking with the Chiefs. Now, I bet you didn't know this, but next week we have a Monday Night Football doubleheader.
Love it.
We got a game at 7:15 and a game at 8:15. So our 7 o'clock game is Jacksonville Jaguars at Buffalo Bills. Bills 5-point favorites at home. This is kind of an easy one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can't have. I really thought Jacksonville was going to take down Cleveland. I really thought that it was going to happen. That bit me really hard, and I'm not falling into the trap again. Give me Buffalo.
I'm with you. Not that I don't think Buffalo's unbeatable or untouchable, but the Jaguars just aren't that team that's gonna take it to them at their own home stadium,
Nope.
And finally, the Commanders at the Bengals. Bengals 7.5-point favorites. I think that's another relatively easy one to pencil in.
Yeah, I mean they didn't even score a touchdown against the Giants, man.
Yeah. I
mean, I gotta just go with the Bengals just due to who's look competent and who's look incompetent. And the Bengals took it to the Chiefs, So 1 + 1 still equals 2 in my book. Give me Cincinnati.
All right, so that's it for our Week 3 picks. Mazz, we have 3 different selections, and I'm down 3 games. So this could swing either way. I could go down bigger, or I could tie it up with you.
Yeah, I think we're going to split it, and I'm not even worried even if you get the 3, because that just means that we're restarting the season.
True.
Back
to 0-0.
It is a my worst case scenario is your best case scenario, and I do love that right now. However, I wouldn't be surprised if I lose all 3 of those swing games. I mean, this has just been a crazy week, this past NFL week. I don't know if I'll ever go 14-2 ever again. I like to just take a moment of silence to acknowledge the greatness that happened there. I still have no clue how it damn happened. Thank you for the moment of silence.
Hey, anything for you, partner.
Hey, listen, buddy. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been probably my favorite episode that we've done. I feel like we say that like every other damn episode. Yeah. Like every other episode, but yeah, the way that we were rocking and rolling today, man. I'm interested to see how these pick'ems play out, continuing with the season. Everybody's telling us that we need a punishment. I don't know if we necessarily need a punishment. I just kind of like bragging rights over you, but if I could get you, if I could get that hair to look a little more like mine, I'd like it.
Never. You will not get my hair. Anything else, I'm good with. I mean, anything that doesn't involve physical change or anything like that, fine.
Okay.
So maybe we got some more brainstorming to do on that front.
I don't know if we necessarily need a punishment. I kind of like just
bragging
living
rights.
Life. I kind of like bragging rights, especially over us, dude. I mean, come on.
Yes.
We're always talking smack to each other, and by we're always talking smack to each other, I'm always talking smack to you, and you kind of just get to a breaking point eventually, and I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, Mazz, and shout out Turtleneck Wednesday.
Listen, I'm just saying, for any companies out there, we will continue to do this podcast. But we do need full-time jobs. So for the love of God, somebody, please, Wojnarowski, hitting the domino effect. For anybody that's looking for a personality out there, you know where to hit our lines. Please, just answer a damn application. Tell me I didn't get it. You know what? Right? Before we end, can we please normalize rejecting candidates? Just send me this automated message that's saying, thank you for the application. But if you don't hear anything back, I've heard multiple people saying, yeah, I just never heard from them after that. Like, send an automation and say, hey, we're going in a different direction, or we filled it, or whatever. Like, is it that hard to do? Really? I'm already on the mailing list. Right? Now, I'm not saying that I haven't been, rejected by a ton of jobs, right? I've also haven't put out a ton of applications, but I do hate, there's a situation I applied to a position in San Antonio, Texas. I just never heard from them, for months. So I just assumed it wasn't there, and then the posting was gone, and then was reposted again, and now it looks to be gone again. Where it's just like, dude, just say that you went in another direction, or give me something. I don't get it, dude.
I'm in the same boat as you, Mazz. Some companies do. It's like a 50-50, whether they send you that automated message saying, hey, you didn't get the job, or we filled the position or whatever, and then the other half of the time, yeah, it's just go and ghost completely.
It's one of those, obviously I'm being totally dramatic right now, but those mysteries where it's just a person just drops off the face of the planet, and you don't know if they just wanted to start over again, or God forbid something happened. You're always just the wonder is what kills you. I'd rather just know what happened instead of just sitting here just thinking over the mystery of, oh, is it gonna come ever? Probably not.
Let's hope that's not the case, and keep our heads up high. I know I need to hear that on a regular basis, but regardless, we're gonna keep it rolling here on the Mazz and Bad Show. Episode
Still living the dream.
In the books.
You have been listening to the Mazz and Bad Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.